I feel too frazzled to even do an intro right now. This is Jen and Zach watch The Handmaid's Tale, season 5, episode 6. This is called Together. I didn't even see the episode name until the end of the episode.
I didn't see the name either. I didn't know what it was called.
It's called Together.
But I'm like cracking up because your response, I did just watch it a minute ago too, but I watched it at 7:00 this morning. So I've had like all day to process it, but you were not responding to me for a long time today.
Because I just didn't watch it because I was doing things today. I was recording on other things, and I figured I would watch it like right before we started recording this, and so I was ready to go. I started watching it, and I figured from the trailer of the last one, I figured I kind of knew what it was going to be. I thought the guy who got blown up the last episode was going to be on the wall. I thought freaking
Right?
June and Luke were going to get put back into Gilead, and they were going to do something. I don't know. I thought they were going to end up in the colonies. Really, this what I thought we were going to go with this. I was taken on a ride, a whole loop, and like the last 10 minutes of the whole episode really just shook me to my core. And then I had to watch the preview for the next one, and I'm shook even more.
Well, I haven't even watched that. I didn't watch it. I didn't have time.
I don't know. This shit is crazy. It is crazy. This show never ceases to amaze me. I have to admit, when it comes to this show, I just am terrible at predicting any of it. I've been humbled a little bit by this show because I get so cocky, like I know what's going to happen the next episode. You know, wasn't super excited for it. I'm like, I'll watch it. I know what's going to happen. Nothing.
Well, I don't know. I was the way you're feeling right now is how I was feeling at 7:30 this morning, and I'm texting you, and you're not even responding to me.
How you texting me at 7:30 in the morning to tell me to watch The Handmaid's Tale at 7:30 in the morning? I'm not watching The Handmaid's Tale at 7:30 in the morning.
It was on. I just want to tell you, I watched it. It was so good.
I logged into Facebook and I saw because you told me, what the hell did you say? Let me see. I got to scroll up now. Nope, that's Alastair. Let me go. You said, Zachary, I told you so. I'll tell you what later. Oh my gosh. But like we'd been talking about Serena becoming a handmaid. So like then I logged into Facebook and I saw the first picture I saw was from the group. And it was a picture of her sitting on the bed. And I'm like, well, shit, I guess she's a handmaid. I don't know why. I just was like, that. I guess she's a handmaid. And that's the thing. Okay, if she's going to be a handmaid, that's going to be exciting. But, you know, I can wait the rest of the day to watch it. I will be fine.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's get into it. We have to do it. This episode, again, was directed by Eva Vives. It is called Together. And so we open up, remember, so like Luke and June were pulled apart last episode and they were captured, but this episode we open and they're being transported. And Luke, I just love Luke that he's like really trying his damnedest to get out of his situation. Really,
I know. She's so calm.
She's the realist.
She's just sitting there, and he's just trying to save both of them. Poor Luke.
Well, and I guess they were answering the questions that I had too, right? Because I've been questioning this whole no man's land thing, America, Gilead. Like, I don't understand spatially where we are. And she, just by smelling it, she's like, this isn't Gilead. No, this is something different. I smell disinfectant.
They got bleach.
They got bleach here.
Gilead
I don't know where this place
bleach.
is. This must be Wisconsin.
I don't use bleach either.
I don't know what it was, but so she pretty much answered that for us that they're not in Gilead. And
well, they made mention they were in no man's land.
They're in no man's land, but then I'm like, who the fuck is sorry, language. Who the hell is capturing you then? Like, who are you captured by? I was so confused. I just didn't understand it. Mr. Wheeler got guards everywhere. He's got his own team.
Well, I know. So that makes me wonder, who the heck is Mr. Wheeler? What is his role? Is he just a wannabe Gilead commander? But he has some kind of ties to Lawrence and them. So what is that? Like,
it's so wild. It's so wild. So they get taken to this whatever center because I can't even. I barely know the infrastructure of Gilead, and now we're being taken to a cage. I don't know. They get their pictures taken. They're getting like thumbprint. They're getting all their stuff, and I love that June is the one that's like, "Hey, where the hell are we?" She's like, I've been through this a couple times before. Where are we? You gonna tell me? Is this Gilead? Are you Gilead? They won't answer her.
And they're like, "What's your name?"
She's ready to get in a fight. Oh my gosh! When they asked her name, I said, "Don't do it. Don't tell Moira. My name is Moira. Rita."
She's
My
like,
name
June
is Rita.
Osborne. And
No.
he's like, "No, who are you of?"
And she said,
like,
"Fucking nobody." Yes. It's just a feminism.
I should use my feminist cup.
I just couldn't. Oh, you got a big gulp cup now. Where's that from?
Yeah, Sonic.
I'm so hungry. I need to eat. June needs to eat. She's hungry. She's hungry for a bite of action and fight.
Yeah, she getting it.
It really did like stress me out when they asked her name though, and I was like, "Oh, don't say your name because your name is not the one to. Everybody knows your name by now. Okay, we know you."
But why does she even still have a clip on her ear?
Because did you see how much that shit hurt the first time? Maybe she's just like, shit, I'm not. This is just an earring now. I'm just gonna keep it. We do check back in with Serena, and I was like, I just don't want a lot of like scenes of her just bopping around the house a lot. You know, we get it. She's being held there, but now I want to see her like try to escape or something. I want her to like try to hop the fence or something like that. And she gets her ultrasound, but she's not allowed to leave the house to get the ultrasound.
Right.
Doctor comes. Oh my God, that was so weird.
And then they had the whole setup. But you know what I thought was weird is like, we don't want you doing anything. We want you to be careful. We're going to bring the doctor to you, but you're going to climb like 5 flights of stairs to go up there to get your ultrasound. We can't put it in like a room in the bottom of the house.
Give me a little elevator. Give me like attach a chair to the stairs. Because if I'm really going to be on bed rest, I'll do it. Okay. I know I'm not their target audience, but I'll do the bed rest. Call me.
I know. I would love to have bed rest.
They say, well, sir, you were a gay man who cannot have babies, and ma'am, you are past your baby birthing years.
Well, you know, when I had COVID and your dad made me stay in the bedroom.
It's not COVID, it's the baby.
I know, but I'm saying when he made me stay in the bedroom for 5 days because he was scared he was going to get it, and they wouldn't let me come out of the room.
You and Aaron had to stay in y'all's rooms.
I know. I was so depressed, and I cried all the time about it. Now, please send me in there for 5 days.
Let me go back. And I've tried that with Alastair. We end up both getting it anyway. It never just fails. But it's so weird, this whole like ultrasound scene, because he's, you know, it's already like a weird sort of like pregnancy.
When he's kind of creepy.
While pregnancy is a beautiful thing anyway, it also is just very intrusive all the way around, and like your whole experience is very intrusive, and like people have to touch you, and people have to like, you know, look inside of your big belly.
We get it. Yeah,
it's crazy. And he's like gets done doing this ultrasound, and then asks her on a damn date.
And he's like, "You want to go to dinner?"
He's like, "We can do it at my house, or we can do it here, but we can't take you to a restaurant. I'm not allowed to take you to the Applebee's."
But that was kind of creepy because he said, "But my Martha makes really good cedar salmon."
I clued in on that. I'm like, "But you're not in Gilead, so how do you have a Martha? Ooh. What's the deal there?" So you're living by Gilead rules, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it. That's what we're searching for now.
Piecing together the puzzle. Okay, we're figuring out where the hell we are, because we are clearly not in Gilead, but this is some Gilead bullshit going on here. But yeah, so she's like weirded out, but she doesn't tell him no. She just is like, okay, yeah.
She's like, that's interesting. That's interesting.
We go back to Lydia at the hospital, and she learns that she's ready for Esther to die, right? She was like, she had that whole reaction already pre-planned. I bet they were going to tell her that Esther.
Because
she was like ready to.
She probably would die. They were going to harvest her uterus.
Yeah. And she's like, the Lord and this child. And they're like, no, Lydia, she's fine. She's pregnant.
She's 3 weeks pregnant.
She's like, oh, she's pregnant? She's not going to die? You just want to kill her real quick? Lydia hates this bitch.
I know. A
Lydia
lot of
hates
people
her.
don't like Esther. I like Esther.
I love Esther. Esther is played by McKenna Grace. Let me tell you something about McKenna Grace. I think I already mentioned it in another episode, but McKenna Grace has booked every like child role in every movie, every TV show. Anytime she shows up to the casting room, all the other little girls are very terrified, right? And we see exactly why they're scared of her ass
She
here,
does
because
a
her
great
acting
job.
job is like phenomenal.
Yep.
One scene.
Yep.
Um, so Esther is 3 weeks pregnant, right? Which, like,
Right.
so Lydia does the math in her head, which is illegal. You're not allowed to do that, Lydia. I'm going to tell on you. I don't know what you lose for doing math, but she did the math in her head and realizes that, like, so something must have gone down with Putnam. And at first, I was like, oh, and it still isn't good, right? Like, asking a rape victim, well, what did you do to, like, invite his attention?
She did. I didn't know that's where she was going to go. I thought she was going to say, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, what did he do to you?
Yeah.
But basically, she was like, did you do something?
I think that
to
tracks.
Provoke being raped?
Yeah, I think that tracks. I think she's in such a mindset right now, and those are her beliefs, right? Like the women are subservient to the men, and they're lesser than the men. So, like, it must be the woman's fault. The reason she got assaulted, and so that would be her first point of thought. That it does track with Lydia, like whether it's bad or good. You know, it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. She starts going, "Oh, that's terrible, Esther." And Esther's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
She's like, "Well," she said, I'm sorry," and Esther's like, "No, you're not.
You're not sorry. Are
Don't
you crazy?
Touch me.
And
Get out of here!"
Screaming. They have her like bolted down to this damn bed, and they're talking about bed rest. I'm like, are they going to bolt her down for 9 months? Is that what the plan is here?
Well, I mean, probably not. But maybe they just don't feel like she tried to commit suicide, so they just don't feel like that she's emotionally stable. And now she finds out she's pregnant with, of all people, Putnam, and he's just the creepiest.
So weird.
Yes.
So we'll get to him. But you don't talk back to Lydia, so I was like looking for this test. I was like, I know she hates Esther.
She was going to slap her again.
Like, Lydia just goes up to like scratch her nose, and Esther flinches. She's like, don't hit me, Aunt Lydia, please. Esther's ready to fight. Esther needs to be let go. They need to let her square up with somebody, and they need to let her go for it because she deserves to kick some ass, I think.
Yep.
Her and Emily are gonna like take down Aunt Lydia. It's gonna happen. They're gonna kill her. They're gonna kill her. Listen, all of these people, just because they're getting little redemption moments and little redemption arcs, doesn't mean their moment of retribution ain't coming. Like, it's coming. Right. They're gonna get theirs. But Lydia does like offer the compassion, and she goes to Lawrence and tells Lawrence, and the way she talked to Lawrence at first, I thought Lawrence was gonna get up and slap her. I was like,
yeah, but he's so calm all the time.
Yeah,
he's always got to come back, and so I'm like, at first I was thinking, well, whose side are you on, Commander Lawrence? She's sitting here telling you this girl was raped, and you're like, oh, well, I mean, it's not a crime. That's whatever. But apparently, I mean, it was bothersome.
Well, it is bothersome to him. I don't even know if it's bothersome enough for him to go and take some action, right? But I wonder the motives behind that action, because it's clearly not through a good conscience, because that's what they do, and he knows that already, right?
Right.
Like, this conversation has been had. But Lydia, I don't know. So, like, he said that when Lydia brings up the ceremony being sacred, like, Lawrence scoffs at that.
Right.
Basically, the subtext there is, like, reading between the lines, it's like, really? Like, this whole thing is ridiculous. We all know this stuff is ridiculous, and we all know this. We're doing really bad shit here. None of this is holy.
Right. I mean, they get raped every month, but just because she hadn't been officially placed in his home, we're going to call that rape.
But the thing is, because Lawrence was, or because Putnam was kind of V-lining for Lawrence a little bit and had Lawrence in his scope, I think that's Lawrence's motivation. Remove the problem, right? Remove my problem.
Right. Well, because Putnam's all about, nobody's gonna, like, New Bethlehem's dead. It's not gonna be a thing. your new word's not gonna, like how somebody like creates a new word.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's not a thing. That's not gonna be fetch.
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 Fetch was a slang in England.
No, remember, what was it, Mean Girls?
Yeah, I just quoted it. You ain't seen that movie in a long time. I'm gay. I've seen it recently. Okay,
I have seen it recently. Yeah, I have. I really have. Anyway, you get where I'm
remember.
going.
Do you remember when we first watched that movie at Shelly's house? We watched it at Shelly's house, and all the kids were sitting in front of the TV, and you guys were sitting on that ugly ass green couch that everybody always had. That had that same material. You remember?
It was disgusting. Like plaid. Yeah, we had it too.
It was like the hottest couch to wake up on when you're sleeping naked. It's like you're burning and itching, been eaten up by bed bugs is what it felt like. But like I love when Lydia exits this scene right here because she gives this like weird twisted smile. She's like, "Yeah, okay, Mr. Lawrence, fine. Just gonna go back to the Red Center and beat some handmaids."
Oh no, she doesn't do that anymore. She has compassion.
She's a Christian woman now. She's a Christian woman. Yes. Luke and June are still in the cages. They got pretty big cages for their holding, to be honest, and they get to like hold hands and everything. And Luke is like, I know this was supposed to be more of a serious scene, but I still like it was a little funny how he was acting. When he was like, he's like, you've been through this how many times? What season of Handmaids are we in? What season is this?
And she's like, yeah, a few times, but this cage is big.
She's like, I like this one right here. Yeah. Right? Usually I'm swimming through ice cold water in December.
Oh, right. Going through milk. Mm-hmm. I know.
Do you know what Emily had to do? Emily had to take Nicole and swim through ice cold water in December. Oh, we thought Nicole was dead. Yeah, Luke, this is nothing. This is really nice. And then they make the joke about Airbnbs and stuff, right?
Yeah,
like, yeah. This is really nice. This is an Airbnb, here's housekeeping as the guards come in. But I like that, like, June was just kind of annoyed by him for a second, when she was like, you need to calm down because you're stressing me out. I am fine. We are fine. Even though we know June, like, she's not exempt from being scared, and she has to be scared in this moment still.
Well, of course she's scared, but I think the difference, she's calm anyway, most of the time, but the difference is here, I think she feels a responsibility to care for him, to take care of him, keep him calm.
Which is so hard for her too, because that's always the position that she ends up in, is that she starts her escape journeys with people. She always starts with people, like with the intention to get people out. And the only time she ever got across was by herself. She was not able to bring Janine across. She was not able to. Handmaids died on the railroad track. They got hit by the train. Do you remember that?
I know. It was awful.
Terrible. That was one of the worst moments in the damn show.
Yeah, I hated that.
So I like that they have this moment here, though, and he kind of like settles down, gets back onto June's level, and they because they need to stick together. They need to be on the same page. We go back to Serena. Serena's driving me crazy this episode. Serena and Mrs. Wheeler have a scene together. They're like cutting little flowers, and Serena's like, my gynecologist just asked me out, and Mrs. Wheeler's like, wonderful, go out with him, do it.
She's like, he's a catch. He's a catch.
And I could have, I was sitting on the floor already watching this episode, but if I'd been in a chair, I'd have fallen out because Serena says, I might not even get married.
I know.
I said the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy.
You are
fighting so hard for Gilead. You want Gilead so bad. You want everybody under Gilead's thumb. But you don't want any of these things to apply to you. You want to be free. But you want to support the system that doesn't want you to be free. So what is it here?
Well, maybe she's getting a taste of what it's like to be a handmaid. However, she's not. She's not a handmaid.
She's not, but she's getting that taste.
Listen, even if she had that baby and they took her baby, that does not make her a handmaid.
They would have turned her into one. Listen,
because
they got plans for her.
She never had a ritual. She hasn't been raped. She hasn't been beaten and, been terrified for her life and have to go to the grocery store and look at a picture of an egg on the carton.
How long do they stare at oranges? right? Because I watched those early scenes and they was talking to each other, standing next to each other, each holding an orange, and I'm like, you look suspicious as hell.
I know.
It's an
remember
orange.
They would go open the thing,
whisper to the milk, like, why are you talking to the milk, June?
yeah.
And Mrs. Wheeler, but like this is so she's not a handmaid, but
She
she's
is
quickly
pissed
seeing what it's like to be a handmaid, and this is like very quickly, like all of season 1 pushed into like this scene. You know,
I agree with that.
The way that Serena used to talk to June and tell her to go to the room like she was a freaking child,
because it was like Serena Joy talking to
it was very much the same.
Alfred.
Telling her what to do, saying, no, you're not going to go on a walk. You go upstairs. Go to your room now, right? And I was like, Mrs.
I thought Serena would tell her something.
I thought so at first because Serena did call her out by her name. She said, Alanis Morissette. What are we doing here? And Miss Alanis Morissette sent her to her room, and Serena went. She went to her room, and this is where like the biggest parallel is that she was sitting on the bed just like June used to sit there and having to just like retreat inward, you know?
Yeah.
But like June was very much caught in a tangled web that you couldn't easily get out of, right? Like Serena Joy has an easier time getting out of this situation, I feel like, than June ever did for like 4 seasons.
Well, I mean, she gets out of it today, but
today we don't know where it's going to go. But today she's out of this.
I mean,
situation.
she gets out of it, but only because the opportunity presented itself. Because she's not going to stay there. She's not going to lay in the closet and see writing on the wall. But there was also a parallel moment where she goes into, and I might be skipping ahead. I am, so I'll stop, but where she goes in to talk to Mr. Wheeler. Yeah. So
I mean, we can go ahead and go there because I feel like it's coming up pretty soon anyway. We'll just kind of consolidate. When she goes into, were you getting Scrabble vibes?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I had Scrabble vibes. I thought he might let her read a magazine.
He said, "Do you want to read? Do you want to read this newspaper clipping I have?
Cosmopolitan.
Read the back of the Sex and the City box set. Here, there you go. Enjoy." And she goes in, and he basically says, "You and my wife need to like handle your shit, right?" And this is like, I'm telling you, while she may not be explicitly a handmaid, she is on the verge, on the cusp of being a handmaid. The only reason that she is in a safe spot right this second is because she's pregnant. She already came in pregnant, right?
Right.
They don't have to do a ceremony or anything.
But I also, so a lot of people think, oh, she is going to be their handmaid. She's their handmaid. They're going to get her baby, blah, blah, blah. But I don't necessarily think that's true because Mrs. Wheeler was supportive of maybe her following the path of the gynecologist, and then talks about you can't raise your baby as a single mother. That's terrible.
Yeah.
So single mother,
I don't know, man. It's just so like the thing.
So I don't know then if that's the
thing that really like sketches me out about all of this is that they're clearly not living in Gilead for whatever reason. I don't understand that. I'm hoping that'll be explained to us a little bit better.
But, the gynecologist, she said the gynecologist was like the head of
Gilead, right?
Obstetrics in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, and they made mention last episode, they made mention of Toronto also. So I don't know. I kind of think maybe they're on the outskirts of.
So the purpose of this meeting, though, is to like Mr. Wheeler wants to let Serena Joy know that they've apprehended June. They've got her. They've like scanned her fingerprints and all of that, and she. I don't know. So the way he kind of handles it and the way he talks about it is that because he mentions he implies that like Gilead is not good at the job that they're doing, right? And that so he has to take it upon himself, which kind of leads me to believe that he's also playing outside of Gilead's rules because he doesn't have to play within Gilead's rules, right? Because he's not there. But he's created his own little Gilead on this compound where she can be a handmaid, where he can make her a handmaid there. He cannot he doesn't have to let her leave. Serena Joy knows this. Serena Joy is very, very smart, right? So there was a lot to this scene that I just like, I was reading. Her face just like told me so many different things in this scene. Did you catch that?
I think in the whole episode.
Yeah.
Her face, to me, I was paying attention to her face a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When he did say that they apprehended June and that they were planning to execute her, I could have screamed at the TV screen, like, mm-hmm. Do you not feel anything, any sort of humanity in you? Please, like, show us something. Really show us something. Mm-hmm. And so then she has this like flurry of emotions that kind of washes over her face, where she is telling him, while she's telling him that it would be important to her to get to go and see this happen, see June be executed, and it would mean a lot to her because she would know that it was justice for her baby's father and stuff like that. While she's saying all of that, I want to tell myself, well, we know that she's playing him. She's manipulating him, right? She's getting out of the compound. That's what she's doing.
See, I didn't even think that. No,
I thought that.
I mean, I should have been thinking that because mm-hmm. it's definitely a Serena move and a Handmaid's move. But I was like, no, she wants to go kill June. I knew obviously she wouldn't because we're in season 5, episode 6. So I knew that wasn't going to happen.
What if June died season 5, episode 6? I would go.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. The Facebook groups would blow up. They'd delete.
Oh my gosh.
Or they'd be happy. I don't know. Depends on where the people go with that. But no. So like I did sense that. I was like, she's manipulating him. I see it. I see what she's doing. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, but why is she manipulating him? Let's like break that down. Let's unpack that a little bit. Is because clearly she's staring him in the face and she knows what he's doing. She knows that he's kind of running his own little Gilead outside of Gilead's rules even. So like she doesn't understand those rules. So anything can happen to her in this world now.
Right.
Because she doesn't know these aren't Gilead rules. So is she looking out for herself? Is she just trying to get herself outside of the compound? Is she feeling anything for June? Is she... I don't know. There was a lot, and I couldn't really read her face quite accurately, and I just couldn't figure out where her motivations were. Right, like her and Lawrence and Nick, I think their motivations are so hard to read sometimes.
Right. I'm especially having a hard time with Nick.
Kill him already. Just kill him. Kill him. I hope Rose kills him.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever seen him smile? It's creepy.
Who, Nick?
Yeah, but like smile with teeth. It's scary.
I don't know.
I shouldn't say that. That's mean.
I don't recall. Probably. I mean, at some point.
I've seen him in like an interview do that. But like, yeah. So Serena Joy, the actress, she does such good poker face. But like, she does eventually convince Mr. Wheeler to like let her go, and she'll be accompanied by like a single guardian.
Ezra.
Ezra. That's what his name was. I didn't write his name down in any of my notes because I forgot it. I kept forgetting his name from scene to scene.
The only reason why I know that, the only reason why I remember that is because I have a friend who has a little boy named Ezra.
Oh, I think Ezra's a little cute. So,
I like it. And yeah, she's got a 4-year-old son named Ezra. And
yeah. What? I'm talking Ezra,
nice
the guardian.
Looking?
Yeah, he's nice looking.
I've not even ever paid attention
I'm glad he's not dead yet. I'd like to see him in some more scenes.
Okay.
Yeah, so then oh goodness, we kind of skipped over like the flurry of things that sort of happened between June and Luke in this cage. Like they spend a good chunk of the episode in the cage.
Yeah.
And the Guardians, because the reason that Mr. Wheeler knows that June is there is because I don't even know if I can call them Guardians. Just whoever these guys. Yeah, we don't know
who they are exactly.
Yeah, that work for Mr. Wheeler. They come in and like finger scan her, and
yeah,
I don't know, all this technology shit, and then they go into his cage and like beat the shit out of him. And I think because up until this moment, he's joking around, like he's not really grasping the severity of the situation,
right?
And I think he thinks maybe he's a little bit safer because they're not in Gilead, right? But
yeah, I don't know what he's thinking, but it was terrible. It was hard to watch.
Yeah. And I felt really bad, and she like lays down and like gets face to face with him as through the bars, and she's like telling him like this is where I feel like he's like in his oh shit moment, like oh shit, like we're probably gonna die. They're gonna ship us to Gilead, and we're probably gonna die. And she's like, listen, I've done this for 5 seasons. I wish they would just explain it like that. I'd let it pass. I'd be like, okay, breaking the fourth wall a little bit. I've done this for 5 seasons.
It's not time yet.
I still have hope. We're okay. And I love that. I love her being confident like that, and I feel like I trust her too, right, when she speaks like that.
Yeah.
But then I remember every time she's gotten out or had the chance to get out or anything, she's always been alone. And I'm worried that when she gets out, because we know she's going to get out.
And we've talked about before, she's always had casualties.
Yeah.
There's always been some kind of casualty.
I just don't want him to be the casualty. I just don't want it.
Oh my gosh. Well, you said last week, when we talked about this last week, you kind of mentioned you think he's going to die.
I do.
And I wasn't really convinced, but today I had a kind of an oh shit moment. Like, okay, he
what was the oh shit moment?
When they left. When they separated them, I had a hard time with that.
It's yeah. It's really, and I don't even want to put it out there, but I mean, it's a TV show. It's written already. If it's filmed, it's filmed. It's done. Like, I can't really stop it talking about, like, I don't want to put it into the universe.
Yeah, I know you say that all the time about everything, but this is already done.
Yes, it's been done. It's gonna play out how it plays out, but like I'm getting a lot of foreshadowing vibes from a lot of this stuff, and especially like when it feels like when she's having these talks with him and kind of trying to assure him, it is more of a tragic fate that we're like facing, and it feels like she's facing that tragic fate and trying to ignore it, but it's like in her face, and it's almost like she's like face to face with his dead body, you know, and that he's just dead man walking at this point. So I'm really hoping I'm wrong about that, but I'm getting a lot of those vibes because I love him, especially in these last few episodes, right?
I know. And when they left, I heard them talking about dump him at the border is what they were saying. Dump him. They said there's no need for him. We don't need him. Dump him at the border. That they said that. And
so then okay.
That's when she kind of started freaking out, and she was calm this whole time, I think, because she was trying to keep him calm and take care of him. But now she's freaking out because I think she feels it.
I think she feels it, and I feel it too. I'm done. The spider sensors are tingling. So then this takes us back to the last episode. Do you remember when they found the body strung up? Was that them then, and not really? Was that not the other freed handmaids, or the handmaids who escaped? Because we assumed it was the handmaids who escaped.
We thought maybe it was like, yeah,
but
the resistance.
So we have a parallel on this one where it's like they do. We'll get into the scenes explicitly, but they do string up. They hang Mr. Putnam up on the wall, right, as a rapist, and the body we saw in the last episode was a rapist. So is that like the No Man's Land Gilead rules? Because I'm going to call it No Man's Land Gilead, right? We have Gilead and No Man's Land Gilead, and No Man's Land Gilead seems to be run by Mr. Reeler, and is he having people strung up in there as well?
I mean, I don't know.
A lot to consider here.
I don't know, Zach. I'm just confused by all of it.
We keep cutting between like Serena setting off for to meet June, and June and Luke being separated, and when she has a freak out, like you kind of mentioned, she has a freak out when they do separate them, and that's the only time we see her.
Yeah,
like, I feel like her voice is breaking by episode to episode to episode 2. Like, I wonder if that's like a deliberate choice, or if she has like laryngitis or something. I don't know, but I feel like it's a deliberate acting choice that her voice keeps breaking the more she goes through. But she's in that bus, like that's the only time we see her try to like just, fruitlessly try to break free of her bonds.
Well, she's yelling and hurting and sad, and everybody else is just sitting there.
It's because there's nothing you can do, and they've all been through it, and there's nothing you can do. And it is kind of like sitting on that bus is just, it is fruitless, and so all of that, they call all of those people escapees too. So I'm guessing they've been escaping from the colonies and just a bunch of different things. And then, so I'm anticipating this meetup between Serena and June, and out of nowhere, we get like a random ass breakfast scene with the Putnams, and I'm like,
oh, I know.
Like, where the hell are we right now, and what are we doing? Because this is not tracking with the pace. They put that scene in there at such a weird moment that it was very jolting, and I was knocked off balance a little bit. What were you thinking?
What? I mean, I knew he was going to be put on the wall. I knew that was going to happen because I saw him. I saw a picture of him somewhere, a man on the wall with one arm. So I knew that was him because I went back and watched the one that you thought it was. And that guy actually lost his leg, not his arm.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I knew he was going to be on the wall, but I was not expecting this at all. I wasn't expecting how, I guess.
Because I thought we were just like planting more seeds, and I was like, "Why are we in this scene right now when we're breaking up the tension? You know, why are we doing this?" Because everybody's staring at them, and Mrs. Putnam makes the comment.
Yeah,
like, it's almost like very casual, like what's happening, and he's like, "Well, it's like unspoken that basically the dialogue is, I did something wrong. You're gonna be happy for it. We're gonna have a baby on the way." And she's almost like, without getting over emotional or anything like that. She's more like tisk tisk tisk.
Yeah.
It's annoying to me, but we're gonna stay here and finish our breakfast. And then the Guardians come in and haul his ass away.
I know. And then take him out. And
they take him out right in front of the restaurant. In front of the restaurant.
I think it was like the country club.
Was the country club?
I think it was like the country club, and all the country club people.
They took him right outside the Wild Duck, and they
the Wild Duck Marina.
And they they're like, yeah, we already did a trial and everything like that. I was shook at how fast paced all of this was going, because it was like knocking him down. Right? I was like, okay, he's being hauled away. He's gonna go on trial or something. No, we already had the trial. He's like,
yeah, we had the trial in secret.
Guilty
at midnight.
This is guilty.
You're guilty of what
Sins
was he
of the flesh.
Yeah. That's
Sins
what
of
it
the flesh. Yeah, we're getting good at our Gilead law. I could be a lawyer. And fucking Nick executes him right there. Right there.
Shoots him right there.
My goodness. I was like, okay, well, it is him on the wall. So whatever.
Well, then Nick's like, did you notice how his face looked when he was wiping the blood off of his face? You'll have to go back and look at it, because he had a distinct face when he was wiping the blood off.
What did the face say, though?
I don't know. I was like, okay, does it say, I really don't like that because that's not the kind of person I am, or I'm kind of turning into that kind of person, or I'm relieved because I got rid of one of them. If him and Commander Lawrence are acting together to maybe try and take them all down, then they got one. I don't know. I still am very unclear about the motives. I think I've had to tell myself with Nick and Lawrence, I just have to let myself go on the ride with them and stop trying to figure them out, because it's not doing nothing for me. I actually think that's a good way to put the whole show. Maybe I'm just gonna
go
on the ride and talk about it after.
I can't do it. I need to figure something out. I need to get at least one thing right, one prediction right.
Well, I got mine. I predicted and I was right.
There you go. But so and that kind of carries over into, we're kind of going out of order with our scenes here, but Rose, when Nick gets home, Rose points that out and says, hey, like, at first I was super confused, and I think I still am confused on like what she's talking about. Like, is she scared that he's going to be a killer, or is she like, what is she worried about?
Well, and I guess at first I was confused because I didn't know, did she know about that, or is she talking about something else? But then he said something about you just don't need to concern yourself with Lawrence and Putnam, is what he said. And she's like, well, I'm just worried about the kind of person you're becoming or whatever. Yeah. And then he says, well, I'm doing it for
our baby, and
the
for
safety of our
baby in Gilead.
And she rubs her belly.
I know, and I'm like, you pregnant?
She must be.
You didn't tell us. Okay.
Well, she is pregnant because she rubbed her belly. So that means, I mean, they don't have a handmaid.
Yeah. So she's fertile. It's just so weird, because it's like, you obviously are not afraid of him killing anybody, because he was in the damn military. And that helped create Gilead. He was killing people left and right, you know? So what are we afraid of here, I guess, is my question.
Well, then she makes the comment, is that what you're doing it for? or are you doing it for another reason?
Which is stupid, and I hope she's not implying June because like that relationship is done.
That's what I felt like.
No.
I felt like that's where she was going with
that.
That
sounds insecure, Rose. You're being insecure, okay?
I don't know.
Insecure in your relationship, okay? Your arranged marriage, you're insecure. What is there's another scene that like breaks up. Lydia taking the handmaids to see Putnam on the wall. Yeah, and Janine finally getting to see Putnam because we didn't really see Janine ever really fall out of love with Putnam, but I'm assuming it happened somewhere along the road, right? And she's been able to think about like how she was treated,
right? And she's like, I wish I could have seen it. I wish
thought
I
that was an odd joke
it.
at first. I was like,
That's awful. I never even thought that. That never crossed my mind.
You really didn't? She's sitting there like this, and you didn't think anything. You didn't think.
I honestly didn't even think about it.
And then it's just me, and I'm going to hell.
And then, and then Lydia's like, "Oh well."
She wants to. I see it in Lydia's face every single time. She wants to hit people who talk out of turn. She's like wanting to hit her.
I don't think she does.
She's like, let's go get some more milk.
Yeah, let's go get some milk. Let's have a slumber party.
It's like,
Come on,
Lydia,
girls.
can I get a Dr. Pepper instead? Just like, can you smuggle me one?
No.
That was a nice little scene, though. It was nice for Janine. I felt happy for her.
Yeah.
Okay, and I believe we've covered all of the scenes that take us out of what's about to happen now. Because as soon as it happened, like we get, so they stopped the bus, right? The Ezra and Serena Joy stop the bus. They get on, they get June off of it, and the bus takes off. June sees Serena Joy, and she's like, I love June's face too. She's like not even like, she's not gonna grovel. And I love that she's not gonna grovel.
Absolutely not. She kind of like, gets just this.
What does she say? She says, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
She should have just ran for her.
No, I like how it went.
She should have just ran for her, and they could fight.
I thought that's what was going to happen when she said, let her stand up, unshackle her or whatever. I'm like, oh, we're going to square up now, okay? She's only pregnant in her belly. That Melly Stanley said, you're not pregnant in your face.
Oh my God, Melly Stanley, whatever.
Gypsy Sister style. Let's fight here in the middle of the road.
I can't believe we even used to do.
I could still watch a Gypsy Sisters fight.
Oh my God,
still watch it.
You remember they took her to the yard?
Yeah, they were screaming all over that town. They were like, where are we going? You're not coming. I'm not going to your house. I ain't going to your house because you call Muskers. You call Muskers. You know what we can do? We can meet at Chicken's house. Meet me at Chicken's house. There's always something like Chicken Ducky's house. They all have big 2012 white F-150s, and they all show up.
They definitely do. Yeah, their big blingy belts and
cuts to her confessional, and Nettie's like, I just wanted to kill her, and I just could taste it in my teeth. These people are trash, man.
Oh my God! And we watched it.
I did. I loved it. I still watch it. It's on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
But back to Handmaid's Tale, though. So like Serena Joy and June are face to face now, and I knew how this was gonna go. I knew that like Serena Joy was going to shoot Ezra, and they were gonna run off together. I was 100% confident in that. As soon as June showed up, I was like, "This is how it's gonna go."
I was completely shocked.
What did you think was gonna happen? Nothing. You didn't know.
Somehow June was gonna get out of it. I don't know. She always does.
You think Serena Joy is going to chase her through the woods with a gun, just like June?
I mean, somehow somebody, I don't know. Somehow she always gets out of everything.
She does.
I hadn't thought that far ahead. I wasn't thinking.
It was happening real fast.
I was caught in the moment.
Yes, and so Serena Joy shows up with her pants, and it makes so. This is what annoys me, right? Is like I feel like in this moment, Serena Joy she had the resolve. I don't think she was questioning what she was going to do at all. I think she was resolved that she knew she was going to shoot Ezra. She was going to take June, and they were going to go, right? Whether it be for a selfish reason or for whatever. She was going to get herself out of there, and I think she was already planning on taking June with her. But she still does the thing where she's like, get on your knees, pray. I want to see you grovel.
Well, because we have to watch that because it's just another... scene.
It's your favorite thing of the season.
Of June down here and Serena up here. So at some point we have to watch for it because then it's going to go like that.
I don't, but I feel like, especially watching the preview for the next one, I feel like when it flips again, it's not going to be as hateful. The hate's not going to be there. You'll have to watch the preview for the next one because I truly think I think we're going somewhere real good with it. So Serena Joy makes June grovel a little bit. She makes her pray, and I think Serena Joy just wants to hear what she's going to say because she's like, "You said you wanted my baby dead."
Right.
June
cursed my baby.
June said, "Best day of my life." I'd do it again. And I think Serena just wanted to feel like in control of something at this moment. In control of something. Mm-hmm. And so she has June just pray. And June says, I pray for our daughters and our children that they will know peace, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, because think about this too. Another thing with June and Serena is June already had the opportunity to shoot her because she had the gun. She pulled it out. She had the opportunity to do it and she didn't do it.
Yeah.
She went ahead and
Serena Joy smart.
Escaped.
She noted that.
Ran away.
She noted that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Serena Joy noted that. I think Serena Joy knows that June wasn't going to harm her baby or her. She wasn't going to do that. Otherwise, she would not have made this decision. She would have, because what she does, she turns and she shoots Ezra. And I'm so happy that he had his little bulletproof vest on. I know we're supposed to hate him. He's on the wrong side, but he's just cute. I need a couple more episodes of him.
Oh my God.
And he falls over. I thought, but I saw that he was shot in the bulletproof vest, and I thought his ass was going to get up, and they were going to have to fight him together. But he stayed on the ground, and she's like, "Get in the car, June! Get in the car!"
She kidnapped her.
June kept saying, "What the hell are you doing, Serena Joy?"
She's like, "You're crazy, bitch."
Serena Joy!
You're crazy.
She's like, "Where?" First off, there's a meme that says, "I'm not a ride or die. I have questions. Where are we going? Can we get food on the way?" Right? And I'm thinking that while this is happening. Praise be. I'm thinking that while this is happening.
Praise be. Praise be.
I have in my notes, it's just all caps, Serena Joy, and then right after that, I have, where are we going though? What's the plan?
But where are we going to go? I don't even think we know where we're going. Of course, Serena's making June drive her.
Of course. And she gets to sit in the back seat, right?
She's in the back.
I get to be safe. Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to feel powerful again. She's like, you'll be my chauffeur, June.
You're driving me around. Mm-hmm.
And so they set off on a road trip. We're back at Thelma Louise.
I know. That's Serena what I was thinking too, Thelma and Louise.
It's Serena and June. June and Serena.
I actually thought about that when she peeled the tires out and...
So I have a question for you, right? Because I've been wanting this to happen, the team up to happen, for so long. In the preview for the next episode, it seems like Serena Joy's going to give birth, like June did at the abandoned, or not the abandoned house, but the house. Remember when it was an empty house and they were looking for her? It's paralleling that, except Serena Joy won't be alone. June will be there with her. And it seems like they're going to have, it seems like the entire episode is them talking it out, yelling at each other, and really getting to the bottom of something. And I wanted that to happen for 5 seasons. And then this season has made me hate Serena Joy so much.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too late for me. I don't know how I'm going to feel that episode. And if I can forgive Serena Joy as if she made me her handmaid. Do you think it's too late for that? Or do you think the redemption, she can still be redeemed?
Well, it depends on what happens from here on out. Mm-hmm. Are we going to have any more ideas about taking women's rights away, stealing babies?
Right. Who you voting for? Let me know who you're voting for in the election, Serena Joy. That'll tell me what I need to know about this.
We know who she's voting for.
But
it's pretty clear.
I think it's a real good question, and I would ask that to everybody is Serena Joy the character beyond redemption at this point with how much she has done? She's shown evil. She has shown that her heart is cold. Mm-hmm. But does that mean she's beyond redemption? It's I did a little short story in high school one time. We had to do a short story. I was in a creative writing class, and it was about what if the devil apologized to God? Would he be forgiven? And so I've always thought that, and I'm is any sort of character beyond redemption? And so I'm really curious to see how I'm going to feel next episode with that.
And what do you think about that?
I don't know because I hate her so much, and like this didn't do anything for me. I don't feel like I felt excitement because of what was happening, but I still like loathe Serena Joy. Love the actress, but I loathe Serena Joy because of this season specifically. Because every other season, I wanted her to just join forces so bad. Taking Hannah out and parading her on TV was the last straw for me.
Right. No,
and
I agree.
And then talking down to Luke like that too.
Yeah.
With a smirk on her face.
Yeah, I think that I do think she tried to flex muscle. I think it's backfiring in her face. She's realizing she's not powerful like she thought she was. And so maybe she ought to switch. I don't know. She needs to switch something up. But I know she's going to have her baby because of that picture that I sent you the other day, remember? Where she's like holding her baby and she's got her arm out and you're like, yeah, June's going to run over her and her baby.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't think we're there now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was really good though. So
it's like, yeah, it was a really good episode. My head's just like spinning now, and I really need it. I really want the next episode, and I think people are gonna think the next episode's boring because I feel like the next episode is gonna be exactly like the episode that June gave birth. It was all in that house. It was all June.
Well, that was a good episode though.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It was a hard watch
but
for me.
People want action, right? Like those certain people want action.
Everything's not about action.
I know. This is plot.
We get
this
a
is
lot
like the
of
story. Yeah.
Information and story in quiet moments too.
And
we don't always have to be moving and going and doing.
I think that's what the next episode is going to be. It's going to be very much that episode. It's going to have a birth. And we're not going to, I don't think we're going to, and I don't think we're going to see Luke.
Shut up.
I don't think he's going to be dead just yet, but I think it's going to be one of those, like, remember when Janine kind of just disappeared after the explosion and we were left wondering what happened to her? Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen with Luke for a couple episodes, at least one episode.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get to some sort of understanding with Serena Joy and June. I don't know if it's going to be like we're buddy now, but it's some sort of understanding that they can finally be on the same page.
I don't know that they'll ever be on the same page.
I don't think they'll be friends, but they could be on the same, like, I guess just a level of understanding as mother to mother. I think that's
they're both strong women.
Yes, just for different things.
They are. They're both strong women, and I don't know. You gotta love the strong women.
It's such a good episode, man. Oh, it was so good. What do you take from it?
Well, I was really excited this morning when I saw how good it was. Oh my gosh, I text you. I almost text my work friend because I couldn't hardly stand it. So I get to work and I'm sitting in there and she comes in and I waited. I wanted to say this as she walked in the door, but I waited, gave her a minute. And then I was like, Ginger.
Okay, so she gave her like 5 seconds, basically.
Did you watch it already? And I said, yes, it's so good.
You would make me so mad. I'm glad we don't work together.
So she went home at lunch and watched it, and then we talked about it. And she came back in the office this afternoon. And
what were her thoughts? What does somebody outside of like me and you talking about it think?
She told me that she thinks that Lawrence and Nick are pretty much going to take them all down and try and, I don't know, get rid of Gilead.
It's so strange though, because they're co-signing everything up until now, which could be a good like deflection technique for us as the audience, right? They could just be like, because I keep asking myself, well, why aren't they doing anything then? Like if they have any sort of conscience, why aren't they doing anything? And they could be. We just aren't privy to those scenes yet, and we haven't seen any of those yet. But they're clearly like together a lot. So there's a reason for that.
Yeah, they are kind of like BFFs.
So weird.
They are. They're kind of like
so
best
strange.
friends. They hang out. They play tennis.
They have a little BFF necklace.
Yeah.
They connect it. It's a heart. It's not a heart. It's a cross.
But I think, well, obviously the way I want it to end at the end of it is never going to happen because this is not real life or, it's Gilead life. But I wish they would get Hannah, go home, and live happily ever after. June, Hannah, Nicole, and Luke. But that's not going to happen because there's going to be a moment in this season. There's going to be a moment where you already know what I'm going to say. I tell my friend, well, my friend listens to this, right? And she knows your loathing, the loathing that you have for Nick. And she's like, why does he hate him so bad? She asked me that question today.
Let me explain this to your friend real quick. Okay. What's the friend's name?
Ginger.
Okay. There is no reason I hate Nick. It is pointless. It makes no sense. It is just I think I've just picked a man. And I picked Luke, and so that makes me hate Nick. And I'm sure the actor's fine. I'm sure the character's fine. I'm sure the character's going to pull out a big heroic scene at the end. It is just me being petty.
He's petty sometimes. Yeah, petty Betty.
Yes, it's like Buffy, Angel, and Spike. Which one is she going to choose? She's going to choose Nick.
Well, I think there's going to be a moment.
Luke.
I think ultimately at the end, I think she'd pick Luke. But I do think that
he's dead.
Shut up. But I think that at this time there is going to be a scene with them together.
Yeah.
Nick and June, and maybe his wife's peeking around the corner and sees some like
holding her own baby.
Yeah.
And Nick's like, when the baby's born, Nick's like, let's name it June.
Let's
like Adam Levine.
Oh, stop.
Yo, I'm so serious, dude. I'm so serious. What would you think about me naming my baby June?
Oh my God. That is like the worst, the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
We can't even get into it. Into it. What are all y'all's predictions for the next episode, the rest of the season? Where are we going with all of this? Because now we've been talking for episodes, for weeks now, that we have set up our pieces. They're moving, they're scattering all over the board now. They're moving. Mm-hmm. So we are getting to the end of the season, and we see you next week for episode 7?
7. So favorite scene.
Oh, the ending. It has to be the ending. It just was. It just was a like chef's kiss moment. The franticness of them screaming at each other to get in the car. Serena's running around with a gun. I don't even know if she knows how to use a gun.
It's like, come on, Louise, come on.
I know, right? Just like, get in, and they're gonna drive over a cliff together.
Yeah, but I obviously really loved that scene. Yes, I love that scene, but I don't know. I got choked up twice. Once when Esther was in the bed doing her thing with Lydia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that really got to me a little bit, because just watching her flailing in the bed and just like the pain on her face, because now she's pregnant and now she really doesn't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and she's 15 years old.
Right. She already got raped by him, and then she tried to kill herself. Now we know why. Yeah. But that scene and the scene where Luke and June were separated and they were yelling for each other and they were going to put him in the car, and he was like, I love you. And she's like,
and
no.
he said it to her a couple different times throughout this episode. Yes. They had different sort of,
and she wouldn't do it.
Fuck. Oh,
well, she said she wasn't saying goodbye. So,
I hope
I wouldn't have either. So anyway,
I just hope it's not the goodbye. I don't know.
I don't
know what the Scientologists believe, but I don't know what Elizabeth Moss is wanting to go with this. I don't know if they're dark. They're like, let's go with the dark ending or a happy ending. Never know.
Why are you talking about Scientology?
I don't know. Just kind of.
Why does your hat say dead inside?
Because this episode has left me dead inside. The show leaves me dead inside.
Hey, what are you going to do with that thing behind you?
Yeah, it's our set. We have it covered right now because we don't want people to see it just yet. But it's going to be like a slat wall, and there's going to be, you'll just see it. It's actually coming out really well, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. So I don't know. We will we'll let you guys go though. Let us know your theories, all your comments, everything. I'm actually gonna be much better from here out answering comments because I've been like real bad about it, and so I'm gonna start answering all of them.
But I didn't know. I don't know. I want to. I'll answer. I'll go have some chat.
Yeah, so we'll have chats in the comments if you want to have a chat with us about this episode and about your predictions for the next. Yeah, I guess that's it. Good night to you, Mother. Good night to you guys, and we will see you next time.
Good night. See ya.